Today we are getting out my old 2023 memory keeping planner and journal. I was expecting to use some notes from my journal from 2023 to help with the memory keeping process. Turns out I only had like one diary entry for the entire year, and it was not for January. So ended up not using that, but what I will be using is the sticker kit from NMH Creations. It is called Blue January Monthly. I got it maybe a couple of years ago, so I'm not sure if it's still available, and if it is, I don't even know if it's still the same layout. This first week in January was the only memory keeping that I've done in my planner so far, but I'm feeling unusually motivated to start using sticker kits for memory keeping in old planners again. We'll see how long that lasts, but I figured I'd start with something kind of simple, ease my way back into this whole sticker kit memory planning type process. So I thought a monthly layout would be a good first step getting back into this practice. With the monthly layouts, I don't get into too much detail with my plans or anything. I don't use as many stickers, a lot of bigger stickers that take up a lot of space. It was a little bit intimidating since this is the first time I'm using a sticker kit on these Sadies Stickers inserts, and I wasn't 100% sure how they would fit or look. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but honestly, it's kind of a little bit of a learning curve to get back into memory keeping planning anyways, since it's been so long. For the most part, the stickers went down okay. These Sadie Stickers inserts are pretty similarly sized to the classic size Happy Planner that I'm used to, but there were a few differences in spacing or layout or something. I can't really figure out where I went wrong, but some of the stickers fit perfectly and some of them didn't, which I don't know how that happens since all of the squares should be the same size, I think. But for some reason, even though the sidebar fit pretty well here, the top stickers seemed like they stopped short a little bit. And the same thing with this huge sticker that I'm putting down towards the bottom to cover the days that don't land within the month of January. The big blue sticker looks like it should take up 4 full days, but it didn't exactly. I don't know. Oh, also, so I do tend to use craft tweezers when putting down date dots because the stickers are super tiny and they're hard to control. But I don't know where my craft tweezers are at the moment. I still have a few boxes to unpack for my apartment, and tweezers are pretty small, so they're still hidden somewhere in my piles of boxes. So I ended up having to use my beauty tweezers that I usually use on my face. So if you see any eyebrow hairs or chin whiskers floating around in the stickers, no, you didn't. Now, I know it may seem a bit silly to go back and use a planner that's already a couple of years old at this point. Even in the memory keeping planning space, at least the people that I follow seem to try to do their memory keeping pretty soon after events happen. But that's just not realistic for me. I used to put a lot of pressure on myself to try to keep up with memory keeping and do it like the week after something happens or maybe the month after something happens if need be, but I couldn't stay on top of it, and then it just ended up me feeling guilty about getting behind in my memory keeping and then being so overwhelmed that I never got around to it. But I don't know why I put that kind of pressure on myself, to be honest. At the end of the day, I'm doing memory keeping for things that have already happened. Whether it happened a couple minutes ago or a couple years ago, it's in the past. I still think it's relevant, at least to memory keeping. And while memories may fade, they don't expire. There's still things that I want to look back on. And as I've been working on this older planner, I've realized I actually kind of enjoy the process on looking back on things that are so old and kind of reliving those memories and seeing what my day-to-day life was like at that time. I will admit it can be a little bit tricky the farther I go back into my planner history to add some decorative elements and try to recreate some of those memories, just because, it's been a while. I can't really remember most things that happened that long ago at this point, especially that smaller day-to-day stuff. Obviously, like a big life-changing event, I'll have some vague memory, but I certainly won't be able to like time block a random Monday in 2023 at this point. But luckily, I was intending on doing more timely memory keeping, even at this point in January of 2023. So I did make sure that I took some notes in my functional planner, and then just a couple random notes even in my phone with the intention of using them for memory keeping. That being said, if you are watching this video and you are thinking of a memory keeping project that you've been putting off, whether that be in a planner, a scrapbook, a journal, or even going through just old digital photos, I give you permission to start working on that memory keeping project. And look, as someone with OCD and chronic procrastination, I completely appreciate how uncomfortable it is to even think about starting a project that you have already missed your deadline or working in an order that doesn't meet your original intention or plan. But as someone with those obstacles, I can truly say that once you get started, it really isn't that bad. After time passes, you're not going to remember what date you were trying to get this thing done by or the color of the pen that you wanted to use but couldn't find. What you will have is that project that you wanted to get done. And sure, it might not be perfect, but your standards will also probably change. And as you work on that thing, you will learn as you go. But you can't learn as you go if you don't get started. So get to it. Give yourself some grace, give yourself some time and some space, and just work on it. Unless that project that you need to work on is a gift or like something that you're selling, in which case you do kind of have a deadline and a certain way that things need to get done. I don't really know what to tell you in that situation. But as far as this project for myself goes, of getting caught up in my memory keeping planners for the past however many years, first of all, let's just ignore the fact that I originally put the wrong dates on the wrong days here. I'm used to dealing with a calendar or monthly layout where the dates are already printed on the page and I'm just covering them up with stickers. I do not do well with counting boxes that all look the same, apparently. But see, I made the mistake and it's okay. I fixed it. The page is a little extra wrinkly now, but that's fine. Since this planner is so old and I can't really rely on my memory for most of what I'm doing my memory keeping here for at this point, I am really just going to be focusing mostly on like the actual dates on the calendar or monthly view here, with just a few key appointments that I did have written down in my functional planner, which I think is okay. I probably could do a little bit more digging and add more detail into this spread, but since it's been a little while since I've done memory keeping using sticker kits, I'm totally okay with keeping things pretty simple here. Although there usually aren't too many plans to worry about in January anyway, it's a pretty busy month for work, and so I'm usually way too exhausted during my downtime to really plan anything. In 2023, I was doing volunteer work still with my church's high school youth group, but they were on winter break, so that wasn't even really happening for most of the month of January. So overall, pretty light as far as plans are concerned, which made it especially nice to use this as my reintroduction to memory keeping planning using sticker kits, which I feel like is a fading trend, but I have so many sticker kits that I have purchased over the years, so might as well still use them since I have them. And I do genuinely enjoy the process when I'm not, feeling so completely overwhelmed that I don't have the energy or motivation to even get started. But I'm taking my own advice and just going for it. I should mention that I'm going to be including as much information as I can about the stickers that I'm using in the description box below, at least to the best of my abilities. I am trying to use up my sticker stash. That's kind of one of my main goals for this year. I have so many stickers that I've purchased over the years with the intention of using them for memory keeping for these numerous years worth of planners here. And I do intend to use them, but that does mean that a lot of these stickers are pretty old. So I'm going to include the shop information as much as I can. But some of these stickers I've kept on reusable sticker sheets, and I have no idea when or how or where or why I got them. And even for these shops that I do clearly have the information for, there's a good chance that a lot of these stickers aren't available anymore, or that shop might not even be open at this point. I know that the pandemic hit a lot of these small shops pretty hard, unfortunately. So I will try to give credit where credit is due as far as stickers are concerned, as much as I possibly can. But just as a warning, unfortunately, you might not be able to purchase most or even all of these stickers that you see me here using today. It has been interesting to go back through my collection of planner stickers and supplies to see the different phases that I went through of purchasing stickers and what sorts of things I thought would be necessary for my memory keeping, what kinds of stickers to buy, what some of my go-to sticker shops were over the years. And things have definitely changed over time. I believe these dumbbell stickers from It's a Hoot were in my most recent sort of wave of planner sticker purchases that I've made. Now, they are probably a full year old at this point, but they're certainly newer than some of these other stickers that I'm using. For the majority of the spread, though, I did use mainly the stickers that came with this kit. I was pleasantly surprised with how much there was in there, and especially since there weren't too many plans that I had to add here, I was able to get away with only pulling a few other extra shop stickers. Now, you may be seeing this and think, there's no way that she is putting a checklist in a planner that is multiple years old. And let me tell you, I am. Why? Because I love checklists, and I think that they're a great way to show not only things that you have to do, but things that you got accomplished throughout a certain period of time. It's nice to be able to kind of celebrate those victories, even if it's been a little while. And sometimes I don't want to find a creative way to list those sorts of things, and so I just put them in a little checklist. So in January of 2023, apparently some things that I got done during that month was finishing up my 2022 functional planner. I also got tickets. What tickets were they? I don't know. I'm assuming either for Go Wild, or I think I saw Riverdance this year, or possibly for a music festival. Who knows? I worked on some inserts, some playlists, whether they were YouTube videos or music, I don't know. There's also something called New Year, which I did that month. Don't know what that means. And I organized my stickers that I am now using years later. So, I'm glad that I was able to get them organized way back when. You can see these little albums that I'm using, which I organized apparently in the month of January of 2023. So thank you, January of 2023 version of Elisa, for all of your hard work and dedication to make sure that my planner stickers were nice and organized so I can use them all these years later. Now, you may also know that while I do have a huge collection of planner stickers, I also have a huge collection of pens as well, in all sorts of colors and types and finishes. But I decided to keep things relatively simple for this spread since I was relatively burnt out at this point. So I just went with a couple of navy blue pens, and I think it turned out okay. This isn't a perfect spread, but I am glad that at least I got it done.